YouTube channel. And go live. Okay. EFGH. Oh, I'm live. Amazing. I didn't know I was live right now. That's interesting. Alright, well, I'm still figuring out everything that's going on here with YouTube. Thank you for waiting. So what I'm this is like my second stream. So what I'm trying to do here is just paint from this still from Samurai 7, and these are the guys that I added, and this is the underpainting basically with some of the major tones. I just kept working on top, and so right now I'm just working on these guys. And if you squint from here to here and you see the difference, you'll see that there is a difference, and that's basically a lot of my areas on the painting that I'm doing are very light, so I'll have to fix those areas as I work. Okay, so let's see, just pick a brush and let's take a look at my brushes. The hexagon brush is nice here. Let's take a look at these, just playing with the tones a little bit. Make sure I'm in the right layer. Has to be a little bit darker. And our eyes can really see the difference between these few changes in tone. So even though it may seem slight, it has a big effect overall. It's like really amazing to capturing the illusion when you paint, is to see these small changes in tones. I mean, be aware and more appreciative. Okay. See eraser. Are you too confused? So if you haven't seen this movie, it's a classic, and it's really good. It's from the 1950s, I believe. Samurai 7. You can see this online for free at archive.org because copyright has run out on these movies, so it's legal. It's not illegal to see this movie online. Okay. Now what really separates him from everything around is this rim lighting. This is called rim lighting because it's literally lighting the rim of his head. In fact, let me turn on lock transparent pixels. So now I can only paint in the area where there's already pixels, which is really good. And now you can see that I can just get the edges, this person, his features. See that? So it's really nice. Now I can adjust the pressure of my pen, so I'm just able to capture it a lot better. This whole now his ear should be a little higher, so I'll turn off lock transparent pixels, and that allows me to now paint where there is not any pixels. Okay. So this is really fun. I would highly recommend you to do film studies like this, if you're learning to paint and improve in your painting skills. Make these strokes go around his shoulder, just to give that feeling of movement and roundness. And here we go. This is his sword, pretty iconic and awesome. Cool silhouette as it comes across. Am I using a eraser this whole time? Yeah, I've been using the eraser. How strange is that? It's not good. Was I using it the entire time? No, not the entire time. It's just not good when you don't know what tool you're using, and then you start deleting pixels from what you need to keep. So this is really cool now to paint these fabrics as it's coming out. Notice that this is coming out, you see, so I'm going to show that it's overlapping a little bit. Maybe take some darks and put that dark here to show that this is a layer. This here is a layer on top. See, create a small little shadow area so it looks like it's floating on top. Now, I don't really know everything that's happening here, but it looks like there's another opening, so it looks like this is some sort of a vest. So I will continue that logic here, And yeah, it looks like this is a vest. So it's open here, and but then this comes in here on top. This is a really fun, and all I'm using is this basic hexagon brush. It's I got this brush from Imad Awan's brushes. So they're free. He put them for free, but he has thousands of brushes, and I just use maybe 10 brushes. But when you get that pack, there's like a lot of brushes in there, and but it's good because then you have more of a selection. But it's also you also have to spend a lot of time going through the ones you don't like. But if you're just learning about Clip Studio Paint, this is the program I'm using, or Photoshop. Then those brushes are good. And by the way, you can now download and install Clip Studio Paint Photoshop brushes into Clip Studio Paint. And Clip Studio Paint is a great option if you don't have as much money, because it's only a one-time payment, and I think it's like $60 for the Clip Studio Paint EX, but the Pro version is more, but that's mostly if you're doing comics and stuff. Otherwise, this you could do everything I'm doing here for that $55, $60 version. Let me check the time. It's 11:16 for me. So this is like the coolest part. So I really, if you could tell, I really like the environment, but I also really like this the characters, drawing in the characters and their posture. His posture, he's just looking down at this man that's here, which you can't see right now. This man that's coming and asking for, beseeching his help, because the help of the samurais, since his city is or you could say his hamlet or his village is attacked by raiders who steal everything and do a lot of bad stuff. So his posture is just like, yeah, I wonder what he wants. It's cool. This goes below the knee, these pants that he's wearing, and it's cool. It's really cool. Just paying attention to basic proportional things, proportional considerations, the shapes that you're making. This is just really fun. How this actor has passed away. In fact, most of the people who were on this movie passed away. But just the history of being able to see them in this iconic roles and feeling their energy, and it's a really cool feeling to kind of feel like you were there in their time, and to be around them when they were working in this on this movie and making it, and like sharing something, kind of like a time capsule. You're sharing something from so long ago. So what I'm doing here is I'm thinking about where this heel is and how it lines up to the up in terms of the weight that it carries. Before, it was a little bit too far to the left, but this carries basically the weight up to the other side of the head. These are also called plumb lines, but I'm actually thinking more about gravity, and I'm trying to understand why this line is here, not just the fact that it's there. If you do a plumb line, you're doing a straight vertical line like this and saying, oh, okay, that's right here, and that matches up. Oh, okay, that matches up right here. But that's not, you shouldn't just do that. You should think about why that is. The reason why you want to think about why is so you understand what's happening, so you can emulate that in your own work from imagination. Right? You should always ask why, and always try to understand things because that's important. If you go through your math class, for instance, not understanding what's happening in math class and you're just memorizing steps, then you're going to have trouble. And it might seem difficult, like, oh, I can understand these math procedures. Yeah, you never know that you'd be able to understand them until you try to understand them. But if you never try to understand them because you're intimidated, then it will never happen. And the truth is, when you don't give up on anything, understanding anything, and you just keep trying and learning from your mistakes, you're going to succeed. That's the truth. And this could be in business, in an entrepreneur. Perhaps you failed many, many businesses, but you kept learning every time. So those were not failures. Those were paths, experiences on your path to success. That's the truth. That's the truth. But you must never give up. The moment you give up is the moment you've actually failed. And this, like I said, this applies to anything. Being a more mindful person, being like controlling your emotions, maybe. Being more forgiving. These are all things that can be improved. Anything can be improved. So public speaking, being fear of being in public or just being socially awkward. Like, all of those things can be improved. Everything can be improved. But if you believe it can't be improved, then guess what? You'll never improve it, because to you it cannot be improved then. In your mind, it's not possible. So it's important to remember that you have power over your circumstances, and if you're not confident about that, then it's a weird thing, because you're actually confident that you don't have power. You understand? When you continuously believe that you don't have power, you're actually being confident, and you're creating a scenario in your mind where you fulfill that idea in your mind. You see? You understand? So why would you fulfill a negative idea in your mind when you have the ability to fulfill positive, gainful, motivational, productive, improvement type ideas in your mind? You do have the power, and it's evidenced by the fact that you are believing you can't succeed, so you end up not succeeding. So it's your choice to think, look back, ask yourself the question, what do I want? How is my mind thinking? How's it working? And how can I change what I'm thinking? How can I, is this getting me a desired result? Like, do I want to keep failing? Is failure a good thing? Is not forgiving a good thing? Is not achieving my goals a good thing that I want for myself? So if you do want success for yourself because that is what is best, then you have to start believing first that you can succeed. You just hit some edge light here, rim light here. And then throw some of this out. Okay, a little too much work there on that one part. So now, just look at my time, 11:23, it's been 4 more minutes. I really like this cool things that he's wearing, because they're nice and they give some graphic reads, something my professor taught me, Professor Eng, Eric Eng. Took 2 classes with him, and yeah, graphic reads are really important, and graphic read is just these flat shapes on flat shapes that are different tones. And then see how it's going with the folding clothing here. It's really fun to, like, it feels like you're bringing this back to life, and it's amazing to have that feeling, like, you know, like I was saying, that you've part of history that happened almost like 70 years ago when this movie was made, and it's just a really cool feeling. So this color that I've picked is the same color as the background, so you can't see it being painted here. That's what I think is happening. No, something is wrong. It's not that. Oh, the pixels white is... That's just not working. Oh! It wasn't on the brush, that's why. Okay. I was on the eraser again. It's actually because I'm not showing my tools right now, so I'm getting confused. Maybe I should just open that so I can see what tool I have on real quick. And so yeah, this is really nice. It's fun. So I'm thinking about how his arm connects here, right straight down here. I'm not just drawing a plumb line to say, oh, okay, it's this far away. You can do that, but it's not, like I said, it's not best. It's not just best to do only plumb line, because you're just following a procedure blindly, but you're not thinking about why it works. Thinking is what separates you from being able to do something to mastering it. Those are two different things, you know, mastery and that. And I'm not a master, but I am trying to master this. And the way to do it is by not giving up, fixing your errors, trying to improve, okay? All those things are essential. And then always asking why. Why did you make this mistake? How can you fix this? Ask yourself a question and try to understand. That's the important lesson in life, because otherwise you'll keep doing the same mistakes again and again. We'll never improve, because we'll do the same errors, and that's not a good thing. You want to always try to improve. And in every aspect of your life, you always want to try to improve. Your relationships with your wife or girlfriend, or your spouse, your parents, your friends. And never think that you cannot improve that situation. Maybe something bad happened or whatever. As long as you're breathing, you can change and try to improve anything. As long as you're alive. Doesn't matter if you lost your temper, this or that, and said some terrible things. Well, you realize you were wrong. Try to improve that. Try to improve if you have that anger issue. Try to improve your time issue if you're always late places. Try to improve your ambition if you are aiming low all the time. If you're aiming low, what are you saying? Are you saying that you're not good enough for better things? It doesn't have to be material things, but of course material things are necessary since we live in a material world too. But our bodies are material, so you should want the best of the spiritual and the material, or the metaphysical and the material, and seek it. Seek that, because actually when you have, for instance, money, you can actually help more people when you have money. Just as an example, because sometimes people think having or seeking money is not a good thing to seek, but I don't. That's not true. You should try and become wealthy to your standards of wealth, but the reason really why you should try to do that, so of course you could provide for yourself and your family, but also so you can why is this giving me problems? So also so you can help other people, because the more money you have, the more you can help someone else. So there's like basically this whole discussion started here with drawing, but you can improve your position in any area. You just have to keep trying and not giving up and learning from your mistakes. Embrace failure. Like I failed a lot right now. I'm still failing right now with these paintings. And I've been doing it a lot. But I'm trying to learn every time. Every time I'm trying to learn. Like, what is happening here? Is he sticking his head out too far forward? This is part of his what he's wearing. I'm gonna put some of this on here so you can tell. In fact, let me put this on. So you can now clearly see this part of what he's wearing. Now here it looks like I made my person walking forward, and you can tell again by looking at this angle. If you look at his foot here, he's standing still. The reason is because a lot of the weight, if you just look at this heel, is going straight up, and this is not perfectly back, so you can't tell perfect, but this is a plumb line. However, you can tell that this leg is more forward in mine. So what I could do is just move it back. Because I put this on a separate layer, I'm able to just transition it. Just move it here. And now see where the leg goes up. Should come right to the back. And it's kind of like supporting his back. Now he's not walking forward, with his balance being in front, like his foot being in front. That's why it seemed like he was walking more forward rather than standing still. Okay, the next thing, reason why, is that this arm is really flinging forward. So I'll just bring this back like this. And to here. Go into my lock transparency again. Unlock the transparency here. Now bring this arm down like this. So it should be here, his hand. Okay. Okay, so just taking a look at all of these tones and making sure that they match somewhat. Now, if I get this again, I'll just add that nice rim light on the top. It's too big, this rim light that I did. So I'm going to shorten it like that. Okay. Grab some more. Increase the lighting maybe a little bit. Now try one more time. And also on his hand. It was an opaque. This was pretty opaque, so Anyways, a lot of people, they draw with their lasso tool. They paint with their lasso tool, and that is more fast. It's faster. So I'm going to start incorporating that too in future ones of these. Future streams, digital streams. I've done a lot of regular streams, I guess you could say, like the traditional streams. Sorry. Now these little polka dots, they have to actually change color as they wrap around, and they have to also change size. As they get closer to curving and stuff, they have to change their size and their color. I'm not doing the best job here, but I'm going to try and make them really thin. See right here. Make this thinner, make this thinner. So now the brain can really feel like this thing is turning. I'm putting more polka dots than are actually in his in the reference, but so I gotta fix that. I'll put these back here. Okay. Toshiro Mifune. Toshiro Mifune. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's like one of the main actors here. He was Kikichu. I think that's how you pronounce the name of his character here. Kikichu. Or anyways, it was awesome. He did a great performance. All these guys did a great performance. I really enjoyed it. I think you will enjoy watching this movie as well. And you can really just get a better feeling for the time period that it depicts, and it was done in such a long time ago. So it itself is, it's depicting history, but it's also part of history. So it's a cool, interesting interplay of it's kind of ironic, I guess you could say, and interesting. But that would be the case. So I really enjoyed that aspect of this, like being viewing history in the making, or actually being able to see history moving, live history, like a history lesson that was actually you're witnessing it. It's just nice, very nice to do that. And maybe you guys would like that too. And when you're inspired by something as an artist, just draw or write about it or something like that. And you don't have to be able to do art full time for you to be able to do art. If you have another job, you can still do art. Just make time for it. Even if it's 10 minutes a day. Even if it's when I was working a lot more, I would be drawing on red lights. Now the red light, right? Basically the car stopped at, it's nothing dangerous. I'd be drawing on red lights because that's the only time I had. I didn't give up, and I would try and keep going. I didn't. That's not the only time I had. I did have more time. Sometimes we make excuses, but I'm just giving an extreme example. We say we didn't have time, but when you make sacrifices, you find out that you do have time for certain things. But so you make sacrifices according to what is more important. Like your family's obviously more important, so you're not gonna take away their time. But while hanging out with your family, you could do some art. Wow. Like a lunch break, you could do some art. Whatever your art is too. Maybe it's writing. You don't have to be you could do a side job while you're working, on your art, to improve your art. You don't have to make money from your art at the moment. So you don't have to feel bad if you're not able to make money from your art, or you're not putting in as much time because you're working as something else that's unrelated. Maybe it's even like working at a cafe or something. A lot of people have actually done that, entrepreneurs, while they're working on their business. And now they're like, and later they're making so much money, and but that's how they were able to sustain working on their business and their passions. So anything is possible. Don't compare yourself to other people in that sense. Like, oh, this other person on Instagram is drawing all the time and they're working in the field or whatever. Just do you. Compare yourself to you and your improvement day to day, and what you need to do to improve and get better and to reach your goals. Because we're all human, and then not when you reach your goals, but in the process, try to help other people reach their goals too, and you'll notice that you'll start reaching your goals as well. Because things go back and forth. Like what you put out, what you reap, what you sow. What you put out, you get back. And when you help other people, you don't worry, you're gonna get help too. Help people how you can. If there's someone asking for food on the side of the road, like, make an extra sandwich that day when you go to work and give it to them too, with a bottle of water. Just make sure it's safe for you to do that. You could roll down your window. It's safe for them to come to the side of the directly next to you, not crossing traffic. Everything. Just make sure everything is safe, and then you could do something nice for that person too. Right? Everything is, and then you're helping someone. You're putting out kindness, and you will receive that from. Well, I believe in the Creator. It's up to you, whatever name you call the Creator by. You can call the name compassion. You can call them by truth, by kindness. If you serve kindness, if you serve being honest all the time, no matter what, that's how I define the Creator, as myself. How I see the Creator, that the Creator is the source of all truth, that the Creator is the truth. So if you're serving the truth at every moment that you can, like being honest, being kind, and then if you realize you're doing something wrong, you try and fix it, that's being truthful. Yeah, you can help people. That's being truthful. Because if you needed help, you would want help from someone, right? So that's you being truthful. Just try. You don't have to make a hospital for somebody, but when you make that money, you're a lot more successful. Then yeah, do that. Help people with their diets too. Fund teaching people how to eat properly, so that they don't have to go to the hospital when things are bad, or they've gotten too bad. It's important to try your best and try to improve and believe in yourself. These are things we're told as children, but as children we had no problem believing in ourselves, because we would fall down a lot, wouldn't we? You fall down, you try and crawl, you try and walk. First you try and crawl, you fall down, cry, but that never stopped you. You kept trying. That's our human nature. That's the excellence of our nature. We don't give up, and we keep trying. That's the excellence of our nature, and we learn. You have that in you, whoever is listening, because you were able to walk when you were younger. Well, unless you had a problem where you weren't unable to, but if you were healthy, then you were able to walk after trying and falling down and not giving up. And for those people who couldn't walk, literally because of physical limitations, they're able to excel in other ways. If you're listening, then you know that you excel in other things that most people probably don't, because where there was one lack of something, gain something in another way. And that's the beauty of this, what we have in life. Like, I just think of Stephen Hawking, and he did have a lot of difficulty. But his mind was, although he wasn't able to walk, his mind was flying, soaring through space. He was someone I admire for his trying to be honest. But the creator is the best judge of anybody's honesty. Yeah, I just really like that. Okay. I kind of got lost in that, and it was really fun though. Every time you get lost, it's just so fun to be doing this stuff, man. And I hope that this maybe inspired you to do the same. Just don't give up. Keep trying. So this is my one so far. I'm gonna keep working, and these people, they look so highly rendered versus the background, because I use different brushes, so they look different than the background. You see how this has a lot more texture. You see this right here? This is called texture. But if you look at these guys, they're like smooth, right? So they look different. If you notice that, why do these guys look different? Maybe I'll just leave it like that because I want this to be the focal point. So smooth versus textured creates contrast. So it's not looking just like the still, but that's okay. I can, I know what I did to cause this effect to happen, which is important. If I did it and I didn't know what was wrong, then that would be bad. In art, nothing is really wrong as long as you do it intentionally and for a purpose that you're trying to communicate something. So if I know what I'm doing, and this becomes a focal point also because of the contrast and lack of texture, textured brushes, that's good, because I want you to look at this, and I'm going to want you to look at the guy I draw on the bottom. Alright guys, well, I hope you really enjoyed this. I'm going to stop streaming now.